Hello, I'm upstairs in my studio. This is one of my artworks that is not fully completed yet. It's somewhat of a sculpture made out of three cardboard boxes, big ones, smaller one, and real small one on the top. And I made a foam ring around that on the top where I can stick a tablet into it to film. So it's called my cameraman. That's the name of the sculpture. I used this in the past to hold my tablet when I was painting and filming me while I was standing up. So I haven't been using that anymore, but it has its own existence now and its own name forever, the cameraman. So just wanted to continue talking about the coronavirus and what people can do to save themselves and the animals. Okay, so first of all, the most important thing in our lives is that we protect our animals, that we take care of our animals, whatever is going on, whatever we're doing. You know, if you get invited to a party or if you get promoted to an amazing job, or if you are asked to play in a movie in Hollywood, or if you get sick with the coronavirus or whatever is going on, you know, the animals, if you have one animal or several animals, they come first. They are our priority. Okay. So the animal comes first. And if you have to work somewhere else, or where you have to go somewhere where you cannot take your animals with you, then you must find someone first who will be able to take care of your animals, who can live there in your place and take care of your animals full time, around the clock. Yeah. So sleep there like a live-in job, like a pet sitter job, full time, where they stay there at your place, apartment or house, wherever you're living, taking care of your animals, or taking your animals into their own home. So that's the most important priority over anything else. That's the first thing that needs to be dealt with. Okay, that the animals are taken care of at all times. Okay. And so I heard that some dogs, there's a canine coronavirus now that has affected some dogs in Asia, and people said that is slightly different. That's a slightly different pathogen, but I don't know how different it is, because they said that it can also be given to other species like humans and other animals. So I don't know how different it is then, you know, if it can be passed on from one organism to another. And so I saw some people in Asia that have put these breathing masks on their dogs. I don't know how good they can breathe with that. It's all real frightening, yeah. It's a frightening situation. I don't even think dogs can breathe with an actual gas mask, with an actual gas mask that is made out of rubber and that has internal valves and real heavy duty filters on the inside. I tried that. My husband had one from the past. I don't know where he got that. I couldn't breathe through this. So how can an animal breathe through that? You have to breathe in a very specific way. It's a very labored way of breathing. Very manual, very mechanistic way of breathing. Like you have to focus on it and you have to, and then breathe out. You can't just normally breathe through it. It's very difficult. But the people in Asia, they're putting the regular, the fiber masks on. So it's just a specific tight knitted fiber material that they can breathe through normally. But it still is a little bit labored of breathing. So breathing through any kind of fabric, So I'm worried about that. So the most important thing is that the absolutely most important thing is that when people go shopping, and that's something that I do on a daily basis in my regular life, that when we have a dog, right now we don't have a dog. We're in between dogs right now. But when we have a dog, one person always stays with the dog. So that's just our daily life practice of living, So, and I highly recommend that to other people as well. So if one person has to go somewhere, the other person stays with the animal, So, and I recommend that for cats as well. People think cats are solitary. They're a little bit more solitary than dogs, of course. But cats need companionship too, They get very lonely, as I explained already in my first video on this subject. That's heartbreaking to see. So heartbreaking to see animals, including cats, So kitty cats that are left in people's apartments and they don't know what's going on. That's heartbreaking. They're mammals. They need love and companionship as well. They need to be protected. They need to feel safe. They need to be snuggling up with someone. Cats need that too. Dogs need it very much. Dogs are completely dependent on a person to be there all the time. It goes so far that my former dog Kenny, whom we had the one before the papa, so Kenny the Great Dane, white Great Dane, he was so sad. There was one phase where I was writing a book and was spending a lot of time on my computer, sitting downstairs in the living room, and I was going somewhere, and as I came back into the living room, I saw Kenny trying to wipe my computer off that desk, and he finally did. He worked on that with his large hands and he finally threw the computer down with force. And there was a little bit, I could see in his energy, there was a statement, and the statement was, I need you to spend more time with me. You're spending a lot of time with this computer, but you're not spending enough time with me. And although, we were always together, he was on the couch next to us when we were sitting in our recliners. So we were all together in the living room, and that was good. And he was sleeping most of the time on the couch. But that gets a little bit boring too, So they need people to spend time with them and to do things with them. And dogs need hiking. They need more outdoors activity. And there were phases where I didn't do this enough, and I deeply regret. I was just thinking about this before I made the video. I was cleaning up my computer with a ShamWow, and I was thinking about when Kenny was throwing down my computer because he was sad, he was frustrated that I wasn't spending enough time with him. I didn't give him enough attention. We needed to go outside more. Okay, this is very, very important. So this is important for all times, particularly in this phase now that the earth is going through with those horrendous viruses. And the horrendous viruses are caused, as I already said in my other video, they're caused by people eating other animals, and all kinds of mutations can evolve then in this kind of food chain, which is totally unnatural, and people should not be eating animal meat or animal products at all. This is completely wrong. It's unethical, it's cruel, and it is extremely unhealthy. Okay, it clogs up the arteries and it causes these kind of cellular mutations. And it can also cause the C word. I don't even want to say it, So you know what I'm talking about. So it can cause mutations in proteins that are in the animal meat. It can cause viruses, and it can also cause cancerous developments in the person eating the animal product. So, and we see this is an epidemic as well. And all of this has become much worse because of overpopulation. Okay, this is a real serious issue. Real serious. And I don't know if they're at 8 billion humans now, or we've already exceeded that number, but the number is going up every day by thousands and thousands of humans. And that's very dangerous. Okay, so that's why I highly recommend to people, do not put more humans into this overcrowded world, or it's going to get very, very, very inhospitable to live here. Okay, so this is my plea to the world. Don't put more humans into this world. Use birth control, and if you have to, you will have to have it removed. Okay, this is a fact. If it goes against religion, then question your religion. Question this stagnated view on it. Okay, because right now we need to use reason. Okay, and it is not reasonable to put so many people into this overcrowded world and then cause so much suffering because of the overpopulation. So much suffering, not just suffering of people, but animals too. And the animals usually have it much worse in that situation. So, because they're often hunted, they're often exploited, and so on, and that all of this is cruel and unethical. I'm gonna make another part. So